Take a deep breath and imagine yourself disappeared to a cruel and cold Salvadorian prison, given no due process, no explanation, perhaps because you have the wrong tattoo. This is what is on my heart today. Everybody is talking about a constitutional crisis, and I've been doing a lot of deep work to shift my own paradigm, and I wanted to draw a few parallels and just talk about it. Get in the practice of using my privilege as a white man who gets to go to yoga every day and has a healthy job, healthy pursuits. So I have a privilege and I have a responsibility to speak about it, whether people care or not. It's all good. Martin Buber influenced Fritz Perls to start Gestalt from a place of I-thou versus I-it. An I-thou therapeutic relationship, or any relationship that's I-thou is a relatively or fully mutual, where there's potential for mutual co-regulation, where we're able to mirror each other, get curious about each other's experience, where in Gestalt there's not this deep hierarchy where I know everything and you know nothing, or at least I can get curious and interested about what it is that you might have to offer that is out of my awareness. An I-it relationship in Gestalt, as introduced by Martin Buber, is a relationship in which I use you as a means to an end. It's not equal, it's not mutual, it's not based on love or kindness or compassion or any of that stuff. It's like, you're a cog in the wheel. What can I get out of you? And this jives metaphysically really well with what a lot of 9 out of 10 psychics are calling the shift from the 3D false matrix to the 5D consciousness. And this is not a shift in like the dimensions of what you're experiencing, like you drop DMT or acid and you go into another dimension. This is a way of being, and I feel that there's a lot. I feel excited as I think that there are parallels here, because in this positive 5D, we're present, which is very similar to an I-thou. We are curious about each other. We're a lot more psychic and telepathic, whereas the 3D false matrix is built and maintained through the conditioning of our fear-based systems and rigid top-down authoritarian systems like we have now in America. 5D is we remember our interconnectedness. It's a love-based versus ego fear. There's heart chakra or just like head chakra. So imagine you're disappeared to a Salvadorian prison. This might be the opportunity a lot of folks need, even those who voted for Trump, to realize, I don't want to live in a country that treats people like that. Even though, some people do awful things and they deserve to be contained, they need to be contained, they don't need to be tortured. And the reason people do awful things is because something awful happened to them. Hurt people hurt people. it's fucking completely, excuse my French, it's just a very public understanding now. Hurt people. And so when you dehumanize and subhumanize people and say, you know, if you do something wrong, you might get disappeared to a Salvadorian prison. That's a very very 3D false matrix way to be, and to go forward into a future where we actually protect nature and protect one another and create stronger bonds locally, loving kindness in our families, the ability to own our mistakes, and instead of canceling, reach out across. Like, I had a friend like when I was 18 who I never saw again until I was close to 50. And I noticed on Facebook that he was all into Trump, and I was deeply exploring the 3D false matrix, and I was very fear-based, and that can happen with the algorithm. I was very angry and reactive. This was the first Trump presidency, and I wrote on his wall, "Fuck Trump." And he said, "Fuck Trump." Well, fuck you. And you know what happens when we begin to get aggressive and projecting our rage and disgust on one another, is that comes right back at us like a mirror. It's really phenomenal how much you can hurt yourself by trying to hurt somebody else by like just erasing them from your life. Now, of course, we need boundaries. We need to have boundaries if people are abusive. But anyway, after I sufficiently crawled my ass out of the after I fully crawled back from a fear-based, addicted to scrolling Facebook, using drugs and alcohol to numb my feelings of shame and anger, and I crawled back into the land of understanding that we're not these separate entities, but we are interconnected. I reached out to this guy and I said, "Hey man, I'm so sorry I did that. You know, I just want to say, you know, I don't like being a reactive person. I'm really working hard to be more responsive and less reactive, and I think that's what's needed in this world is more responsiveness, less knee-jerk sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, reactivity, and we also need more conscious leaders to use our voices and speak up and share. And what happens, I think, with social media a lot of the time is we lump people into categories. Oh, you don't care about the use of pronouns or whatever, so you're one of them. You know, these reductions, these now Lars pontificates, these reducing one another into easily fileable categories is actually a function, according to the neuroscientist Eva McGilchrist, of the left hemisphere of our brain, to evolve, to come out of this shaming, blaming, stuck place that algorithmic addiction and kind of fear-based system conspiracy has hooked us on. Where was I? To get out of that left hemisphere. We need both hemispheres, but we need a balance in our brain to get into the right, which is imaginal, which is contextual, can see your position, even though I don't agree with it. It's valid. To get into that right hemisphere, we need to inspire each other, I think, and then there's some very practical ways of becoming more balanced. I know it because I have been told I'm an artist and stuff like that, and you know, I like making music, and when I don't do that, I get much more left hemisphere oriented and you know, ruminating and perseverating and myopically focused on the worst outcomes. So a really big piece of our healing is not only to reach across to our neighbors and friends and build our local communities stronger, and be kind and loving, and I thou, and teach each other what that is, and teach each other, whatever the language we use for 5D, is to begin to also reconnect with our painting, our drawing, our writing. Every day I make a video talk, or I do some blog, some writing. Sometimes I reach out and call somebody I haven't talked to in a long time. What was the problem with Facebook for me is that Facebook, there's just too much pressure and too many people and too many networks, and then it all blew up, and I just said fuck this, and I think I deactivated it, but I haven't looked at it since early January, and that didn't used to be the case. I could not stop looking at it, feeling guilty, feeling ashamed. These are negative samskaras. It's like unfinished business from childhood. So I know a few things. I got some context. I went to the pits of hell, of 3D hell, and I lived to tell about it, and here I am. And I don't want to be in a Salvadorian prison, but I also don't want to be quiet and silent and not use my voice. And I really encourage you, if you watch my video and you're not some stooge or thug who wants to throw me in a prison from using my voice and my power, I encourage you to use your voice, use your power, call your representatives, make friends with your neighbors, even though you don't agree on every damn thing, and use your creativity, and come from your, connect your heart with your mind, loving kindness, some kind of creative exorcism every day, some sort of expression every day. Make it a tiny habit to start with. Stop doom scrolling. We can build a kinder world, I promise, but it will take us to inspire and put a little, gentle nudges to our conscious leaders who've been pretty well pretty well exiled into the 3D, a lot of us. All right, love and light.